edition of the Contractors Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Justin Jones and Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition.
And we're on, coming to you live at 4:19 in the afternoon on a Friday.
Now is the red light on?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're on, coming to you live at 4:19 in the afternoon on a Friday.
Here we go. My mic's on.
Yeah, you're good. We're
All
live. I'll try to do my radio announcer voice.
Okay, let's
Coming to
do
you
this.
live. All right, go for it.
All right, let me get this nice thing for editing.
You're going to laugh when you go to edit it.
I know. Okay, welcome to another episode of Contractors Secret Weapon podcast, and it's video format also. So if any of you guys just don't know, will be our third podcast. So we've actually put on YouTube also. So we've been experimenting, see what kind of fun we can have. We'll do some different formats, some different settings, and see how it goes. So the last 2 weeks we talked about, one was goals, or actually getting your game plan set up, your normal goals. Last week we went through marketing goals. And, you know, we usually have a 10 by 10, but start with 5. And I think we went through that last weekend. Go through 5 things. I think we like 7 or 8 or 9. And if you've got something that's working, don't dump it. And don't experiment. If you want to add something to it, that's fine, but don't take what you got that's working and dump it because something might be more exciting, because that's really not the way to go.
Yeah, we did instead of doing the 10 by 10, we did the 5 by 5. But what I liked about last week, we went over what's working for us.
Yeah.
And you discussed in your newsletter how you get a 30.
Last year I got 36% of my business was repeat business from my customers, and I'm going to contribute that to my newsletter because it's in their face every month. They know who I am, and I can tell by the amount of calls I get. It's usually 2 weeks after the newsletter's been that they get it.
It works out beautifully. So when Dave told me that, I said, Dave, I need to get my own newsletter.
Yeah.
So I went and did some investigating. I found a newsletter that I liked. I went through. I hired somebody to do line it up and. What do you call that? Where they kind of edit it and put it all together. It came out really nice. I sent you over.
Yeah, you sent me over a sample.
Really
of it. Looks good.
It looks good.
Yeah,
so
it's really not that hard to do. It's just simple, and
it wasn't difficult at all. And then to get content into it, I went through and I hired somebody to help me out putting content into it. So now I have 4 or 5 newsletters done, which is basically the whole beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Unless you want to send them out bi-monthly, and then you got the whole year done already. Put in a couple.
And another way to get good content too is to pick an area or that you want news on, and do an RSS feed. In Google, go to that website, do an RSS feed, and when something new comes up pertaining to what you want, you'll get it, and then you can just put it in your newsletter.
Yeah, that's simple. So I went through, I took care of that. I've got my newsletter set up, so I'm going to update everybody on how mine works out, but also I'll get everybody up to date on how it's working out for me.
You, yeah, that's it.
And then we'll be good to go with that.
Yeah. One of the things that I came across, and I put it on our website, but it'll be on the free stuff or resources, is a new app that I found. It's extremely helpful for you to figure out your business. Is 5 ways for making profit. It's actually Action Coach. If you go to Action Coach apps in
the Google Play Store,
the iPhone, you can pull up Action Coach 5 ways for profit. It is phenomenal. It'll show you how, before you've heard us talk about when you add a percentage 2 or 3 here, how exponentially your profits and stuff grows. This little calculator will show you. You can play with it all day long, and you don't have to run the numbers. It's really, really cool.
It was really
so
neat.
it's one of those apps that I would highly recommend to download. So we've talked about the mission. We might change that if you're not going in the direction you want. The vision, your vision, maybe that might change this year if you're really going after the goal. Really defining now your target market.
Your unique
or
selling
redefining
proposition.
it.
Yeah, the USP.
Yeah.
We went over that for the game plan for 2015, and now we're getting into more of the action plan style. We went over the marketing like I discussed. Instead of doing a 10 by 10, doing 5 by 5, we went over what's working for us. So if somebody wants to start doing something similar to what we're doing, it's working out great. So now we're getting into more of the action plan style and really bringing it together and getting that focus to where you can stay on point and on target for what you're wanting to accomplish.
Right. So action plan. So what would you define an action plan? Setting things, all the goals that you've set up, and now how are you going to do them? An action plan.
Well, my action plans, what I go through is I write down my tasks, and on my tasks I look at what's most important. And I'll put an A, B, or C, and I wrote about that in the book that I wrote, The Selling for Contractors. But I classify them A, B, C, D, and some of them are even E. Really, E isn't even on there. You can do A, B, C, and D. And then once you have it set up where your A priority out down to your D priority, then you can make your list. Once you make your list, you have a list to go off of, but now you got to create the action plan that you want to accomplish that list in. So you've got a beginning time for when you write them all down, you get them all organized, get them in A, B, C, D order, and then you're going to put a time frame next to it. When do I want to complete that? Or also, who do I want to task that out to? Because my project managers, I work on all of their stuff, and I hand them their stuff as well, tasks for the week. You got me hooked up with the calendars. I print out the calendars now.
Do you do that every day now? Yeah.
I put the tasks right in there so they know what they're going to be doing for that week, and I don't have to keep repeating myself or really following up with them every single day. Like, did you guys get this done? Did you guys get that done? I can just call them up and say, hey, how are you doing on your list? I've got a copy of it.
It's nice because it's all in writing.
It's great.
They don't call you. I remember a guy who did one of the classes I took, and he was a remodeler, and he'd have a guy on a job, and the guy would call him, and he'd go, well, how do I do this? And he goes, well, let me ask you this. If I wasn't there, I wasn't available, what would you do? Well, I know all that, but tell me, how would you do it? He said, no. If I wasn't there or I wasn't available, tell me how you would take care of the problem. And after about 5 times, the guy would say, oh, well, this is how I do it. He said, perfect, that's how I would handle it. Go take care of it.
I get that with my plumber, too. For some reason, my plumber is the only one that really second guesses himself to where I've really got to hold him by the hand. I don't mind holding him by the hand sometimes, but it's like I finally did the same thing the other day.
Yeah.
How would you do it? I don't want the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
How would you do it if you were doing it to your own house?
What do you think is the right way? It's like today I had one of my guys was painting, and I'm going, that's a duster brush. Come on, go throw it away. Go get a new brush. Go pull one of my brushes. I says, I'm going to ask you this question, and then I go, I don't know if I really should ask you this question, but would you paint your house with that brush? And he goes, well, yeah. I says, just go throw it away.
It's amazing.
It's just amazing.
It is amazing. So that's how I do my action plan. I keep it really simple. We have a quick formula here. I kind of show it up to the camera there, but basically it's an Excel sheet, and it's broken down with the larger column being the task itself. The next column over is going to be the priority level, time date, and then an end date. And if you need to farm it out or you need to task it out to somebody, that's going to be the next slide over. And we can put this up on the website. That way you can just grab it.
Yeah.
It gives you some directions on how to do it there. Because again, when I hand this stuff out to my team members, I don't want them saying, well, how do I fill this out? Then I got to go through how to
the
fill
example.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know.
So anyway, so this is good.
Keep it simple.
We'll see if we can put some examples on there And then as well as your personal items, because a lot of times your business life, you get so busy with that, you forget about some personal items. Me, I've got to pick up the kids during the holiday season, which we're in right now. I've got to be some
next
places.
Week is Christmas, so don't forget to go shopping for your wife. Of course, this will be after Christmas, so if you forgot, you're in trouble.
But it lets us transition perfectly into once you got your task list and you start getting a little bit more personal. I think getting into the activators, or what it is that's moving you. What's making you do what you want to do. And that's big. When you start putting that task list together, what is making you say, okay, that's an A priority, or well, that's a B priority? That gets into more of those, what it is that makes you tick, or what it is that you want to accomplish by accomplishing those tasks.
Right.
Dave, you want to touch on that? Because again,
I know. I just started with another coach, and she's got me doing something similar, to the activator that you have here, but it's writing down 10 affirmations a day. 10, and do them in about 3 minutes. And I said, well, can I just print one sheet up and no, you got to write it down every day.
Oh,
So but it reinforces that. So I write it down every day. It's like, one of them is, after 38 years, I have a loving relationship with my wife, and I'm more attentive now than ever, because as you get older, you forget, and stuff like that. One of them is we're going to be doing webinars, so I put on there that we easily do one webinar a month, and they're fun and easy to do. So I'm gearing my mind that, okay, I know there's going to be a learning curve, but it's going to be fun, it's going to be easy to do. So it's things like that. So I write down 10 things, and I try to keep the same 10 until I've achieved the one, then I'll put another one in there. Then on another column I've got my goal, my 3 goals, main goals for the next 3 months. So I've got one for the business, one for Contractor Secret Weapon, and then I've got one for a book I'm writing. So that's 3. And they all have to fall within the 9 by March. So then under that, then I've got what's the most important thing I'm going to get done for my goal today.
Yeah.
And put that in. And then there's any ancillary things down the bottom. So it's something that helps me not run out the door thinking about what's got to get done right now. It actually makes me sit down and think about what I have to do long term, which is really nice, because that helps, because we've talked about how we get in and we run out the door, and by the time you know it, it's Friday and you're going, what did we do? Well, this helps every day to get into that habit, to set it down with that format, and create the habits of doing stuff every day to get you towards your goals, whatever your goals are. So if it's, I'm going to do a new marketing plan or new marketing system, I'm going to try it, and it's going to be effective starting such and such a date, and I'm going to invest so much money, or in my return, this is my return. So there's lots of things you can do. You just don't make the list so big that it's unachievable. Keep it, with me, she has me do 10 affirmations, 3 main goals over the next 90 days that are the most important to me. Now there's other things that I want to get done, but those are the most important. And I just do them every day. It becomes a habit. Now, have I done them every day? I'm getting better.
That's why you write them down, though. If you didn't write them down, you would never get them done.
No, because there's always something
that comes up
that will get in your way to make you counterproductive. And it's called putting out fires. And it happens in our businesses all the time. It happens in our life. Yeah. The kids get sick. So last night I had something to do. All my grandkids were sick, so I had to go over and go shopping, and I went and helped them cook dinner. So it was a couple hours that I didn't plan on, but, it was fun. Everyone loved my soup, so.
It worked out real good.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it, Dave's at a, I am thankful for this, and then working it out. If you want to keep it simple, just write down simple stuff like I'm intelligent, I'm creative, and again, that's just reaffirming your subconscious.
Yeah.
That's where you would start. that would be a starting point. So if you came up with 10 of just those, where you're kind of giving yourself a pat on the back and things that you're thankful for, your God-given ability that you have the intelligence and in that, then I would get into, once you go through those, what are you grateful for? Well, Dave mentioned he's got a loving wife for 38 years.
38 years.
Oh my gosh, man!
Yeah.
I'm only on 8, and I'm going, man, oh man.
8, 30 to go, man.
Woo. Yeah, makes me kind of twitch. But I'm thankful for the 8 that I got. Because nowadays, my generation, it's like,
everybody
if you
says,
hit
look at you, and they say, I've been married 8 years, and they go, wow, that's a long time. And I go, then they say, when I go, that's been married 38 years, he goes, what?
Longer than I've been alive. That's how long Dave's been married.
Mercy.
I'm grateful for my health, my physical health, my mental health. Just getting into stuff that's going to just reaffirm, or that's going to let you go, you know what, this is the reason why I'm doing this. And it kind of makes you step back away from the business, take a little breath, get into that moment, and then you can go about your day from there.
Because
it's
it's so easy to... And we all do it. We whine and we moan about the situation we have. Things aren't going right, and then God puts someone in your path that helps you remind that you nothing compared to like yesterday. I stopped to get gas. The guy starts talking to me, asks me if I need any help, need any work. And I go no, and he said he hadn't eaten for 2 days and he had this bag, and I said, what's in the bag? He said, everything I own. I go, are you kidding me? So he says, I've been standing here trying to get work out of this gas station. Can you bring me to another gas station? I go, why not? So I kept bringing him to another gas station. Hopefully he'll, I know he's just trying to get some money and stuff. So I give him money for lunch. This is not to make me look
good.
You're not patting yourself on the back. I'm not. I'm thankful for the situation that I have, that by the grace of God, I could be him. And he literally had nothing, and he was okay with that.
He was destitute with it.
Yeah. And he was a go-getter. I thought, if I'm going to get someone else later on to drop me in front of Home Depot or Lowe's, and I'll help people load their car to get some money, just to get me out of this situation. So,
wow.
I'm looking, I'm going, man, no matter what I have going on, it's nothing compared to.
Nothing compared to that guy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I know.
Yeah, he's done at that gas station.
So, am I grateful? I am grateful for everything.
And just those little moments like that. I remember when I lost my driver's license as a teenager and I had to ride the bus everywhere.
Ooh. Now
every time I go by a bus stop and there's people out there catching the bus, I'm like, thank you. I don't have to ride the bus anymore. I've got transportation.
Yeah.
So
it's the little things.
It's those little bitty things.
I got shoes. Well, I don't have them on today, but I got shoes.
Yeah, don't flash those in front of the camera.
So write down the things you're grateful. Take 10 things you're grateful for, and then you don't have anything to complain about, because there's always going to be something that's not going to go right. Doesn't matter. And the more successful you get, the more those little Murphys are going to come at you and knock on your door. So just go for it. Have fun. Enjoy life.
That's part of our game plan for 2015 that we're putting together for you guys. So
and the game plan is, think of it as a game. Really, no matter what happens, think of it as a game. It's all about whatever your favorite sport is. There's a strategy to playing the game. There's a strategy to winning, and if you are not winning in an inning or not winning in a first quarter, then ask the coach why, and then readjust things so that you can win. Because you need to win. It's about winning. That's really the whole game plan is about.
Let's recap on what we've gone over. So we've gone over so far for 2015. This was going to be our goals. We've gone over the marketing, like we touched on, and we gave a lot on the marketing aspect of it because we're both really big into it. Our unique selling proposition, our target marketing, our 2015 goals, what's making us tick as far as the activator that's making us tick, taking a step back into our action plans, and we've also touched on the we've hit almost all of our goal things for 2015.
Goal things, the business goals things, the marketing goal things, the
The 5 by
action
5
plans.
Yep,
You take those
yep.
and you've written them down. Now, think about them strategically over the 9 months, and then plan them out over a year. Figure out what your year is, but just go back to the 9 months. It's just the biggest. Here's the biggest challenge of everything. It's not about thinking about the goals. It's actually sitting down and doing it.
Yeah, right.
That's the hardest part. It's just, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't have time. No, you really need to make time, because what's going to happen, okay, here's what happened to someone I know in business last year. I said to that person, you need to sit down and make out goals, because before you know, it'll be next year. I know, but we are so busy. I know that. And you may be so busy, but you know what? It's next year.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily for that person, they were on an upswing. But what if they weren't on an upswing? They're not still on a continual upswing. But if they don't set goals, how can they? They're just busy doing business, and they're not planning for the future.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that.
So
next week we're talking about accountability,
and
we're gonna do the.
That would be a great, talk about accountability and the different avenues that you can use for accountability. Whether it be a coach, whether it be a mastermind group,
whether
it be a friend, help you keep on track, because there's always going to be something that stumps you, and it happens to us all the time. Well, I've tried this. Have you tried this? Well, no, I haven't thought about that. Why not? Or I've tried this and it might work for you, and it could be a completely different industry.
Mm-hmm.
I know my favorite one, and I tell Justin all this time all the time, because it just stands out. These guys were in a mastermind group, and they were all, none of the businesses were related. Guy was a baker and owned a big bakery,
mm-hmm.
and he took the trade-in from the car salesman that was in his mastermind group.
Took the same idea,
The
same concept.
idea. So what he did was he
business.
ran an ad in his local, and even let all his customers know, hey, bring in a loaf of bread. We don't care if it's a half a loaf, a part of a loaf, someone else's loaf, it doesn't matter. We will trade you for one of our loaves. And it's just ingenious.
At no cost.
Yeah, no cost. That's just.
And as a baker, you're thinking other bakers just not knowing marketing. You're thinking, what in the world would you give away your fresh,
you're getting customers.
good loaf of bread that probably cost him $0.25 to make?
Right.
How much does it take to acquire a new customer in the bakery business? He figured it out and said, you know what? If I give away a loaf of bread, it's going to be a lot cheaper than it's going to be to market people to come and buy this loaf of bread.
There was another one where the guy had a bakery, and he was spending like $200 a week.
Oh, the cannoli. Is this the cannoli?
It was the eclairs.
The eclairs.
Eclairs, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
And he was spending like $150, $200 a week for an ad, and he didn't even know if he was getting customers. Well, he was running a coupon. So if he'd get 5 coupons, so that's on $200. That's what, $50.
That's it's 40. If he spent $200, he got back 5. That's $40.
It's $40 a customer.
Per customer.
His average customer sale was $2.75. So he lost big time. So his coach said to him, "Listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take, and we'll run the same different ad, but I want you to give a free eclair." And the baker goes, "Are you crazy? Give away free stuff?" And his coach says, "Listen, here's what I want you to think about. What does it cost you to make an eclair?" So about 30 cents. And he said, "Are you complaining about giving away 30 cents? He goes, "Well, I guess not, because you just gave away $50 to a person."
Yeah.
So once he understood what he was looking at, he goes, "Okay." So he did. He got 300 people in with a coupon.
For a free eclair.
For a free eclair. Average sale before, what was it, like $2.30, went to $3.75.
Oh, wow.
And of course, you got a few people in that
bought
that didn't
stuff.
buy anything.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get their eclair. So he did it for 2 weeks, and his coach says, "Well, why did you stop?" He goes, "We couldn't keep up with
the customers."
And he goes, he said that he's right. They couldn't, because when you get 300-400 people in, actually that you never had before, you're going to go nuts.
Yeah.
So that's just, think about it.
Yeah.
You're not going to do the same thing. You're not going to give away free stuff, although you probably could in some cases, depending on your business. And because of some other stuff, people being reciprocal, because they really don't want free stuff, they'll add on or they'll refer you. So that's a whole different strategy. I think we've talked about it before. We can really get into it some other time. So we're just going to say we hope you had a great Christmas, because this will probably show up after Christmas, and just plan on having a big next year for 2015, and we'll catch you. That'll probably be the next time we talk to you.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Take care. Thank you guys for watching and listening.